Welcome to Waterfall Cottage. I'm Cherie, and that's Tommy. And today we might be gardening, remodeling, cooking, canning, or tending to our chickens. Stick around and see what we are up to today. Hey y'all. So I am sitting out by my pond today. I have made a couple of other videos about the pond, both when I first put it in, when I've cleaned it, stuff like that. But people still have a bunch of questions that I thought I would answer today since I'm out here cleaning it out. So everyone seems to think you can't have a pond unless it's hooked up to electricity. And I've had ponds for over 20 years and none of them have ever been hooked up to electricity. I've never had filters or anything like that. Anything that I've ever put into my pond is solar powered and stuff I can usually get off of Amazon. I rely on plants, and I do have some little bubblers that I put in this year, but normally I don't even have bubblers. I've had success in raising just normal feeder fish, minnows, as well as koi in a pond that's just all natural, no chemicals. The only thing I would ever put in would be like the barley bricks that you can order from Amazon. So people have asked me about putting hydrogen peroxide in their ponds. I've never done that. I've never had to do that. So I can't advise you on that, but that seems to be a popular thing lately, is putting hydrogen peroxide in your ponds. Again, I don't use chemicals of any kind, so I can't advise you on that. So without going into great detail of things I've already gone into before, basically I got a big black plastic thing that we had something delivered to work in, and I turned it into a goldfish pond. Tommy is going to build a wooden cabinet around it, but he hasn't had time to do that, so in the meantime I just have some rocks stacked over here to make it look nicer. Now we are raising both goldfish and minnows in this pond, and people always assume it's going to be full of mosquito larvae, and it's not. The fish eat the larvae. So I've never seen mosquito larvae in here. I have seen tadpoles in here because frogs will get in here. I've seen a snake in here, but it was a harmless little grass snake. So I haven't seen anything like water moccasins in here. No cobras. Everyone seems to think it's the high maintenance, especially if you don't have the filters and everything plugged into it. But I only clean it out once a year, and that involves completely draining it through a spigot that Tommy installed. I just hook a water hose up to it. I fill up a little tub, I catch the fish, and I put them in the tub while I'm finishing cleaning it out. I know for a fact that we have had babies because I didn't have any orange and black goldfish in there, and I do now. So I know somebody has procreated over here. And yes, I know that's not the correct term for fish spawning. We have a pretty mild climate here in Texas, so we do get very hot summers. We don't get horribly cold winters. It may ice over once or twice during the winter with a thin layer of ice, but I don't do anything. I don't take them inside. So here in my zone 9 gardening area, they are fine with doing nothing except letting them sit here. I won't even feed them that often. I'll come out here and maybe feed them once a month some goldfish food, and that's just so they remember to come up to the surface and say hi to me. It's not really a necessity because they eat, whatever's in the water, like the mosquito larvae or off the bottom of the plants. I have all of this stuff right here, for example. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, but I'll look it up. And they eat on this stuff, and that stuff multiplies, so I have to thin that out when I clean it out. All my plants multiply, and I have to thin them out, which I'll be doing today. So let me get this thing drained, and then I'll show it to you when it's been drained. It's going to be fun catching over 50 fish. This is it currently, and as you can see, it's not really that bad. That fern right there died in the winter. I'll either let it grow back or I'll replace it. And I need to thin out some of these plants. That fountain will probably go, unless I can find the top part. And these are the bubblers I use. They just sit down in there. So I'm going to start draining it using the spigot Tommy has put in. I've already hooked a water hose up to it. And I'm going to put water in this bucket. And once I have enough, I'll start putting the fish and plants in here. Now I have plenty of water in the tub. And I'm going to use my net to play hide and seek with the fish. I need my bigger net, which I think my grandkids have done something with. We'll see if I can catch them with this little one. Caught one. Yay, first one. So far, I've caught one goldfish. So I'm gonna let the water keep draining till the levels get down a little further. It makes it easier to catch them, especially with this small net that I have. And I'll be back in a little bit. Got sweat dripping down my nose. It's been about 30 minutes. You can see on the side about how much has drained out. And I saw a little friend. Can you see him? I bet if I walk over to him, he's gonna hop out. Hello, little froggy. You just go sit there? Okay, that's fine. So anyway, I'm gonna go back inside and let this thing keep draining. Alrighty, well, it's been an hour. It's a lot lower now than it was. The plants, the potted plants, are all exposed now. You can see the water line on the side. But still too hard to catch the fish in this much water, so I'll go set my Google timer for another 30 minutes. We'll see what we got when I get back. Don't want to let it run dry, that's for sure. One good thing about the pond is it attracts dragonflies, which eat mosquitoes. Oop, I just saw a fish. And my frog friend is still sitting there. I need to get that plant out of there, little froggy. Are you still alive? Oops. Yep, he swam over there somewhere. Alright, let's start getting these plants out of here. As you can see, the potted plants just sit on cinder blocks. There's one over here too with some paving stones on top of it. And then there's one in that corner over there. That keeps the plants up high enough out of the pond. And stuff like this is why I need to clean the pond, because it gets full of leaves. It's almost empty, and now I need to get in, remove that last plant and those blocks, and finish catching the fish. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, catching those little fish. Here goes nothing. Got it pretty much empty. I tilted it up on a brick so it could finish draining the rest of this sludge. I just have to use a bowl or something and get it out, and then I'm going to clean it. Like a big swimming pool. You could use it for that, actually. Little kid swimming pool. So it's actually been a week or two since I cleaned the pond out. Fish are still doing great. I wish I could show you the bubblers right now, but I didn't have the solar panel positioned correctly, so it didn't get charged well enough to bubble right now. But for most of the time that I've had the pond, I didn't have the bubblers anyway, so most of the fish have been fine without a bubbler. I just thought that we would try to see if the bubbler helps keep everything a little more kosher. I did take out most of the plants. I reduced it down to just a few because I don't want too many plants in there. Here, let me show you. I kept some of the water lettuce and hyacinth. I went ahead and left that fern that froze, and it'll grow back. Got the reeds over here. Another hyacinth over there. You can see the fish happily swimming around over there. It's harder to see the minnows, but they are in there. This is for birds, bees, whatever, so they can land there and get a drink. Again, it's been over a week since I cleaned it out. You can see the gravel on the bottom. It's hard to see with the reflection of the trees, but anyway, here, let's feed them some food. I have two different kinds. I've got the goldfish flakes, and I have the bloodworms. So I put a pinch of each in there, and for the most part I just let them eat the mosquito larvae that come in here. The goldfish don't really seem to care about the bloodworms. It seems to be more the minnows that like the bloodworms. To give them some of their flakes that they like. They eat it up pretty quick. I want one more pinch. And these started out as feeder goldfish. I think I've had them, what, 2 years, 3 years? So you can see some of them are almost as long as my hand now. It's hard to tell, but there's some of the minnows coming to the top. And hopefully we have lots of babies soon. So basically, I know there are people, I even belong to some groups, that will tell you it's not possible to have a pond that's not connected to electricity, or that you don't put chemicals in, or, you know, have pumps and filters and everything. But I have successfully done it for a couple of years now here, and for, what was it, about 18 years at my last house. So I know from experience that it can be done. And the only other thing that I would put in here are the barley straw that I've shown in previous videos. You can get the little barley bricks from Amazon. So other than that, I don't do anything except let nature take its course and clean this thing out once a year. I hope this video has been somewhat informative. It's very hot out here and the mosquitoes are coming out, so I'm going to get back inside. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the next video.